Hi, I'm DJ Ware. On this episode of the CyberGizmo, I'm going to be taking a look at Pop! OS 2004 by System 76, right after this. It occurred to me that I don't think I've ever reviewed Pop! OS on any of my videos, and so I thought, well, since there's a new one, I'll do that today. And of course, you know, Pop! OS is a System 76 product. It is based on Ubuntu 2004 and was released April the 30th. So just shortly after Ubuntu released their version of the OS, Pop! OS followed on with theirs. But Pop! OS has been modified from Ubuntu. It is not exactly like Ubuntu 2004. They modified some of the keyboard-driven controls in it to try to make things easier. Now, the square brackets around the super and escape means you press your Windows key or if and then press the escape key. So, for example, for the lock screen. So now instead of, they've changed kind of things around a little bit to make things easier. So you super escape in order to lock the screen. And to close a window, you do a super W, and to toggle maximize, super M. Pretty straightforward, I would think. The other thing they added was the ability to do shell automatic window tiling. And this kind of reminds me of Tilex a little bit. Although it's a much improved version of Tilex. Windows will automatically be tiled on your desktop if they're enabled. So it uses keyboard shortcuts to move and navigate between them, but you can basically tile up and keep your windows organized rather than have them floating on top of each other and then losing them and then trying to figure out where they went. And we'll take a look at that today. Also, there's a new application switcher and a launcher, and super slash activates that. So now you can just type the name of the application, just start typing, and then a list will appear under it, and then you can choose that. FlatPak support with FlatHub is enabled by default, and Snaps is not enabled by default in Pop! OS. I don't think it was in the previous versions either. I think you had to explicitly install it if you wanted it. Hybrid graphics is, if you're on a laptop, allows you to choose which graphics card you want to use, whether it's the discrete graphics card that's built in or the dedicated one that you're using, like an AMD or an NVIDIA. It just allows you to control how fast your battery depletes and how much performance you need. Those are nice changes that have come with the latest kernels. Offline updates now is a capability inside of Pop! OS, so you can go ahead and download the updates, but you can defer the install until you're offline, and then once you've logged off, the application updates will begin if you choose to do it that way. Application indicators are in the top bar now, and there's more accessible Pop Picks. Pop Picks is inside the Pop Store, and they have curated up to 20 or so that they displayed there. That's probably more than 20 apps that they have curated, but up to 20 of them loads in at the top of the Pop Store, and these are preferred apps that System 76 has tested themselves. Also, did I just go back? Yeah, I did. Desktop features is based on GNOME 3.36.1, which I believe .2 might be the most recent, but it delivers a major performance boost, of course, and we know that from the other previous versions of GNOME. Dark mode, however, and so the System 76 folks are listening. Yay! Dark mode is enabled by default. And most password dialogues now have an icon next to them, and if you press that, just like they do on the web, it will reveal your passwords in plain text. Application folders can now be renamed, and GNOME settings have been rearranged inside of the settings panel to make it a little bit easier to navigate. And of course, the Linux kernel is 5.4. So I guess what we need to do here is, let me cut over. I'm going to install this on I will attempt to install this on hardware. I don't know if this will work, but I have downloaded the Pop! OS ISO, and then I have burned it to a SD card. And so we will attempt to bring this up. Don't know how fast this will be. I'm gonna do this right along with you. So this is kind of a live test or fail. This is a test or fail. And if it does fail, I'll go back and I'll put it on the boxes on a VM. This machine is so new that it's amazing anything runs on it at the moment. The kernel it really needs is 5.6, but we'll see what happens here. So far, so good. Now I'm just waiting for the menu to come up, and I'm going to, let's see. I want to. Here we go. Now I can actually read it. So it comes up with its installer, and I'm not sure what installer they use. It's probably custom. Yeah, so it's asking me the typical stuff. What's my language? What's my keyboard? If I have any additional ones, I guess if I want, I can do that, or my layout. So I'm just going to do a clean install. But I wonder if it'll ask me which drive. Oh, it did. Very good. So the one I want to install on is that one. And do I want to encrypt it? Nah, I don't want to encrypt it. All right, so we're off to the races. I'll go ahead and pause this here, and then I will come back when it's finished. Although I'm going to wait, because I think all it's doing is partitioning the drive at this point. So I'll wait till that's done. Well, maybe I won't. I'll be back when this is finished. Okay, so it's done. And I did have a problem installing on the T3. I have a Samsung that's a USB-C drive, and it did not like it, which was kind of strange. The first one I have not been able to install on this with a recent kernel in it, so that was kind of interesting. I did not look at the logs, didn't track it down, just switched it over to the internal SSD and deleted that, so which is okay. This device, this is what it's kind of for. So we'll go ahead and restart it. Go ahead and disconnect that T3 drive. I'm just curious if it'll come back up on the live CD, or will it take the... yeah, it came up on the live. All right, so we will reboot this, and we'll take the live CD, live ISO out. That looks like it's coming up into Pop! OS now. Yep. Has a similar setup screen to Ubuntu. A little bit different though. So yeah, that's right. I don't need Wi-Fi, so I'll skip that. Nah, you don't need to know where I live. That's probably close enough. Don't need to do that. Let's see. Well, let me change that to something more interesting. Yeah, we'll do that. I did say most dialog, most password. Of course, your set password probably wouldn't. But okay. So we just restarted partly the GNOME screen. So yeah, let me get this off of here. So yeah, we should be up and running. So let's take a look at a few things. Let's make that a little bit bigger. Let's see, that still works. So that you can see along with me. So let's just look at the usual stuff. 5.4-.07625 generic. And it is their own. It's like Ubuntu and Debian. I'm gonna do my updates through the graphics, the graphical user interface this time. So I'll come up here. Go to install. Has to download and make sure that everything is there first before we can actually get going. A driver. Okay. That's something new that is being added to Linux. Some of the distros. Yeah, I noticed it didn't ask me for my. It probably won't be. Yeah, there we go. It didn't. Installing drivers without being root? Don't think that's going to fly. Not unless they're userland ones and running under my ID, but even so, I would think, yeah, root, you would need root privileges to do that. So maybe it'll pick it up now that that it's in line with the rest of the installs that are going on. We'll find out. I'm not going to wait for this. I'll be right back. I don't want you guys to have to wait for it. Okay, so that is done. And I'm going to go ahead and, well, let me just go back here to this. Let me just go back over here. See if it picks. Yeah, so here's the top picks that they have. These are curated apps that they have chosen. Let's try a couple of them. There's Lutris. There's Tilex. There's the VM Manager. Flameshot. That is a screenshot from Debian. Let's try that one. That is a normal app. Normal being a deb package. I'll see if I can find a Flatpak and we can try one of those too. So that one is there. Let's go ahead and open it and see if it works. I'm also going to check this one. This one has a deb. I guess it's just Debian. Spotify will have a Flatpak. Yep. It's not that I really want to install Spotify. I really don't. I think I'll pass on that one. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go ahead and reboot because I'm pretty sure there's probably was some kernel updates that have occurred. Oops. So I'll go ahead and do that. I should be using system control to reboot, but old habits are really hard to break. Besides, I don't care what happens to system D. I don't care if it blows up. I'll just replace it with RC. Oh, did I say that out loud? All right. Okay, so let's look at a couple of things here. So, as I understand it, this particular bar right here is what activates the tile window. So you can turn that on or off if you prefer it or don't prefer it. And then I can have it tell me what's going on. So let's go and we'll open up, oh, I don't know, let's bring up Firefox here. Okay, I saw now this yellow line right here is part of that tile window. And so if I launch, let's say a file manager, puts it on the right side, and then all you have to do to navigate between them is just click. I think you can also do a super key left and right to do that if you want as well. And then let's bring up another one and see where it sticks it. So it puts it down there. I think that you can lift them back out and push them over into the other window. So you can, yeah, you can just, I'm not sure how you can get it to float. I know there's a keyboard command for that, so you can rearrange stuff. And then when the window exits, it automatically resizes the others. So yeah, it's kind of like Tilex, except it's for GUI apps as well. So kind of nice. I probably would use that. It's a nice shorthand. Keeps you from losing your windows and your mind trying to figure out if you have enough of them open. You're going to end up, now you can expand these. I'm not sure how to do, I've got to go read the keyboard shortcuts, but you can expand these to take full screen when you need it. Because if you, I mean, if you got like 4 of these up here, well, let's just try that. Let's see. We'll put that back on, and we'll go get another one. How about the App Store? Yeah, and so yeah, it's sticking it. That is very much like Tilex, that you can bring that across. So I know there's a way that you can bring these out. I think it might be a M. Let's try that. Yeah. So I can do an M, and that should yeah. So whatever your active window is, you can expand it out. Nice. Nice. Yeah, and then you can return the operation back to a normal by just turning it off. And you'll notice the yellow band went away. So it leaves the windows positioned, but now they're floating again. So now they're floating again. So yeah, that's a pretty nice little feature. I like that. Also, you have the same feature here as you do with Ubuntu, that I can now create file folders on my desktop. So that's pretty nice. I like that. Nice features. I always like shortcuts with commands. That's kind of nice. I don't know what you guys feel about that, but I do like that. I do appreciate that. Let's see. What other trouble can we get into? Yeah, I know. Close the tab. Get out of there. I guess I should do my usual stuff, huh? Yeah, let me do that. Okay. So the first thing I want to know is it true Snaps is not installed? Well, there are no Snap packages installed. We can safely assume that, because Snap has a loop mount point that it uses. So let's just take a look at. I could do that on snapd, but let's just do. I don't know why I'm doing sudo. I don't need to do sudo. I guess I should just look for snapd. Okay. I saw, oh yeah, so snapd glib1 is installed. I'm not too worried about that. Snap confine, snapd, no, it's not installed. Wonderful. Yeah, it's not installed at all. So, good. I think htop is already installed. So I don't think I have to install htop. Oh, I do. All right, liar. I thought for some reason it might be, but it's not. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and put all these out glances. I need git. I need neofetch. I'll just go ahead and start working through my normal stuff and see how efficient this machine is. Now, yes, I'm polluting the environment that I'm testing on. I should have done top first, but that's all right. Top is showing 1.3 gig used. That's pretty similar to Ubuntu. It's about what they were too. Let's see. 1742 D packages. That is almost exactly the same as Ubuntu. If my memory isn't flaking out on me. And we'll do a glances. 2.21 gig. Wow. Pretty heavy. Pretty heavy. Now, I'd have to go look and see what's actually running. I doubt that. Let's look. I doubt that OM would be in this. Oh, it is. Ooh, I should bring my app over here and test that. It is on. Is it active? Looks like it is. Wow, easy. Cool. I don't know if it's actually enabled or not. It may just be recording it. No, well, the Reaper is there. Interesting. I wonder if that actually does something. I'm going to have to come back and give you an update on that one because I didn't know that would be there. All right, so what I want to do right now is, let me bring up, I want Linus. I want to see how it's doing. It's left my window as default as it was. Okay, go over there. So obviously my network is working off this machine. Okay, and then we'll, okay. So some of the old keyboard commands that I'm used to still work. And then we'll do a paste. Yeah, probably not. It probably doesn't know what Pop OS is. That's all right. It'll still figure out what it needs. The other thing I want to find out before I finish up today is I want to see what default backup solution they have on this version. I'm always curious as to what a score of 63. That is okay. 62 to 66 is usually what I would expect to start with. And I'm just looking through here. Yeah, the reason why it got such a low score is it had a warning because there's an IP tables software that's loaded, but no rule sets are enabled for it. So it kind of freaks out when it sees that. And we have some process. Now I've never seen this one before. That's interesting. Yeah, that's all normal stuff, all this. Yeah, you need deb sums. That's all normal. Cups. Just, if you really don't need a printer, get rid of cups. That's just never mind. That's just a source of security problems. Okay. Yeah, normally what you normally want it, well, anyway, normally what you would possibly do is just set up a print server someplace all by itself and wall it off best you can, and then just run it from there. I don't normally put cups on every one of my machines. Do remote print. Let's see. I wanted to see what backup solutions they had, so let's do that. First, let's go look and see what utilities that might be installed here by default. Well, it would probably be here. Archive Manager. I don't see, that's not, that is for zip files. That's not going to help us. So they don't provide one. We'll look in the POP store too. Look at system utilities just in case. They might have stuck it over there. I don't know why they would, but no, I don't see anything here. So we'll go ahead and, yeah, and this stayed in its last remembered size as well. Let's see. Let's do a search. Typically what I do for backup is I use rsync, and I send the rsync to 3 different locations on my home network. I send it to a backup drive on the machine. I send it to the Gluster file system. I send it to the ZFS, and the ZFS file system will forward it up to Backblaze, encrypted. So yeah, so that's what I do to get my stuff backed up. So I actually, a little bit overkill, but I always keep one offsite copy of the backup just in case, you know, if the house were to burn down or something like that, I'd still have a backup I could restore to once I got some new equipment. So yeah, always a concern, right? It's a possibility, and you know, no time shift. So I don't see. I was hoping to see something that, you know, might be curated a bit, but let me close that down. Yeah, but I didn't see anything there. Now they were talking about the application windows are identifying. Yeah, that looks standard. Oh, I guess I should go into settings and take a look at that. Oh wow, even this is dark mode. So the only thing that dark mode isn't probably going to protect is the browser, of course, because the browser uses HTML and it overrides whatever you tell it. Bluetooth appearance. Select whatever wallpaper we want. Those are some of the older ones. I see a few newer ones here, but I see some older ones too. This allows you to switch. I like the icon. So that kind of gives you an idea of what to expect versus just saying dark and light. They don't have the mixed environment though that Ubuntu did. I noticed that was missing. I'm sure that they did that by intent. That might be intentional. I was hoping. Now this does not have it has a discrete graphics card, but it does not have a dedicated one. So sorry, discrete to me means it's built into the CPU. And I know people use that term fluidly, but discrete means it's built into the CPU. Dedicated means that it's a board it's dedicated to serving graphics. So yeah, I guess my language is kind of 1980s, but hey, that's what I learned. So yeah, this firmware bit. So this says no device driver. So I wonder why it was saying to select one when this is saying it doesn't need one. I don't know. Could be a bug. And then I have HIDP, high resolution displays? Interesting. Never seen this before. Maybe have to do some investigation with that. That looks interesting. It looks like something interesting to play with. So, what am I? So let me. I want to play with this more, but you know, hey, it. Yeah, it looks pretty nice to me. Certainly much better than. It's a much better Ubuntu than. Oh, I know they've said, a lot of people have said that. It's a lot better Ubuntu than Ubuntu is. I like the fact that you can opt in to snaps. You know, I guess the real problem that let me tell you what my problem is with snaps. Why it's not just that I think it's bad. My problem with it is there is, like in Docker, for example, when you go to download a Docker container from the internet, Docker will tell you that they have, you know, approved this. They have certified it and said that this is a clean Docker container. There are containers on there that are not, that are just provided by private people. And you'll see there'll be votes within the Docker container saying, yeah, this is good, or no, don't use this one. The Snap Store doesn't have that kind of implementation, so there's no curation. Anybody can supply a snap, even someone that's wanting to do something nefarious. Now, of course, they're going to get caught, right? And they're going to get thrown off, but how much damage can they do if you don't know who is sending you the snaps? And that's my biggest problem with it. It's from a security standpoint. It's not that I don't think it's any good. It's just that, I mean, I think Ubuntu needs to do some more work on it to make it better. For example, go look at what Docker is doing. They do a very good job with their containers, and there are trusted people that develop containers that have been approved. And Ubuntu, by the way, you are one of them, so you should be aware of that. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox. I hope you all enjoyed this today, and if you did, please like and subscribe. Hope to see you all again very soon, and bye for now.